here today, and I'm very happy to have this whole group of the women in STEM. I inspired a lot of your work, research, and motivation, and such a high power of the woman. Thank you so much. Today I'm going to talk about my work, and see. So I'm population geneticist. I'm studying on the genetic variation in a population. Basically, what's the difference between you and me, between the population or within the population. And this can tell us many of the aspects of our evolution and history. So today I'm pick up one of my aspects of the research, which is about the impact of environments in a genome evolution. So if you ask me how I can trace back the history from the genetic code, I would say one of the very principle of the evolution is actually we have a molecular clock in the DNA. So that's how I trace back the history using the genetic code. And now we have a ton of data, which is generated from the genome sequencing. So now we have advanced technology of the sequencing of the entire genome so quickly, so fast. So we have this tons of data. For example, human has 3 billion base pair. All each of you have a 3 billion letter in your genome. So if I decode this information, we can even trace back their population size change over the time. Like, so here, this is the past and this is the present. And the line shows the size of the population along the time. So you can see the difference across the Africa, between the different populations. So that's my tool. So this is pretty powerful tool I can perform. So using the form, how, if I come and get back to my question. Here I'm going to show you one each of my research I've done so far related with this topic. If we are thinking about the climate change, okay, the global warming. So what we can, the polar bear is actually the representative, the iconic animal in the Antarctica. So if we analyze their genome sequence, actually we could see the population size. So this is the blue is the polar bear, the other is the black bear or brown bear. So depending on the species and their living environment, actually the population size responds differently from the climate change. So the gray bar behind the background in the plot shows the cooling effect. So if the climate were to cool, then only polar bear increase their population size. So we can see that in the middle of the land. Okay. It's supposed to be the animation, but doesn't move. So this is 26,000 years ago. So the land was huge. So it called Sunda land before we were in this chunk of the land in this area. But after sea level rise, so this is the rise of the sea level from 26,000 years ago to currently. The rise is 130 meter of the sea level rise since 26,000 years ago. And there is a two peak of the rate of the sea level rise, 14,000 years ago, 11,000 years ago. Especially very speedy, it's 4 centimeters per year. So it's a huge rise of the sea level. So that's why after this sea level rise, actually this land looks like this currently. Like half of the land was under the ocean, and they break the land and it's going to be the island. So how I try to understand how this impact to the human history. And what happened here is the people lived in this area, Sunda land, they lost their land. So they basically lost the natural resource they lived. So they forced to move, and they coming back over to the India. particularly the people, Austroasiatic speakers, the tribal people in India. Currently, they live in the Eastern